Okay, today what I'm going to tell you about is what we do when we're sailing in a bit of heavy weather. We get lots of emails from people asking us what we do when it starts to blow and do a bit of heavy weather sailing. First and foremost, what we do is we reef. We try and make the sails a bit smaller, get them so the boat is not getting overpowered, the boat's not heeling over too much. Just say we're sailing along and then suddenly it starts gusting and we weren't expecting it. So what will happen is I will keep an eye on it. If it's gusting and it's not a quick gust, then what I will do is I will start to furl in the genoa either to the first or second reef, and that normally is enough. But if it keeps going, what I will then do is I will then spill the wind, and what I mean by that is that I release the main sheet, so the boom is going more towards where the wind is coming from, so that depowers the mainsail. So instead of the wind hitting the side of it, what we're doing is I'm moving it away, so the wind is not pushing onto the sail, it's sort of brushing off, so it depowers it.
The big blow has come through and now it's starting to rain, so it's always the wind first and then the rain comes. And generally when the rain comes, the wind starts to slow down a bit and we're spilling quite a lot. So the wind is coming at us on the beam there, and we've got the main really spilled off to the side.
That's okay for a little while, but if it still continues that it's getting gusty and it looks like it's not going to ease down, we then start to think about, right, we need to reef the mainsail. So then that's when we go into reefing the mainsail. So you've got your partner on, or you've got some guests on that are new to sailing. The last thing you want to do is scare them by the boat leaning over too much. You can spill the wind when it starts to heel over too much, and that will bring it more upright, and also it makes them much more comfortable, and also it shows you that you can control the heel of the boat, and that makes the guests or the new people on board feel a lot more confident that you know what you're doing. Especially in a squall, even if you're reefed and you know it's coming, the initial blast you get will push your boat over. So what I do is I'm always ready on the main sheet and I release it so it's spilling the wind, and you keep in control, more in control of the boat. Also it keeps the boat more upright and makes your guests feel that much more comfortable. If it's a longer passage and we know potentially there's going to be some heavier weather, what we have is we have a removable stay, and then we put that on, and then we get the staysail out and we set it up, bag it up on deck and ready to come out. Now you can make the genoa smaller, and that's okay, but if you're doing longer passages, the sail shape is not great for the genoa and you're not getting the most efficient use of that sail. So that's why we have a staysail. Now that's a nice shape and you will get a better performance, you'll get nicer sailing. When you reef the genoa, it's right at the front of the boat, so it's actually pulling down the bow of the boat, and you don't want to be doing that. With a staysail it's further back, so it's a much better movement for the boat, and it's much easier for you in high winds. So if you haven't got a boat yet and you're looking for boats, that's something to think about. What happens if you're caught out and there's a bit of a blow? What sort of sail configurations can you have? Now some boats are permanently what we call cutter rig. That means they've got a genoa and the staysail permanently there. Some of them don't have a room for a staysail, so you're just going to have to make your genoa smaller. Or if you're lucky enough like we have one where you've got a removable stay. We really like the removable stay because when we're sailing along and we're doing some tacking, it's not in the way and we can tack nice and easy. We don't have to furl in to make it smaller to get around the staysail. So to put our stay up, it's held to the side, and what we do is we take it off. I have an extension that I have to fit, and we fit that and put it on. We put it on a D-ring at the front, near the front of the boat. Once that is all in position, we tighten it all up. Then we can then put the sail on. Once we got the sail on, we just make sure that it's tightened down at the bottom. Then we put the staysail halyard on, and then it all gets hanked on. And what that is hooks that go on to the line. And it's the old style of doing it. That's what they used to do in the old days. Once the halyard's on, we get the 2 sheets on, run them back through so they go back down the side of the boat and back to the cockpit, so that's where we can use them from. Then we have to do is we have removable running back stays. On the mast where the stay is attached to the mast, we have running back stays which come back down to the back of the boat. What that does is it holds the mast. If you didn't put your running back stays on, what it could do, it could make the mast go in all funny shapes, and it can actually pull it down if you have too much pressure on it. Just before we raise the staysail up, what we need to do is, we know that the sail is going to be on the starboard side of the boat because the wind is coming over from the port side. So what we need to do is then, before we bring the sail up, what we need to do is get the running back stay. So we tighten the running back stay on the port side so it's on the opposite side, because we don't want the boom hitting it. What we need to do is get that tightened, then we can raise the staysail up.
Child labor for these.
Yeah. You're almost up, Sienna. A little bit more to go.
What's that tail? That bar. It's the winch.
If you have a boat or you're looking at a boat that has a permanent cutter rig and it has a furling system, the advantages of that against our system is that you can do this all from the cockpit, and I think that's a great advantage, where we have to go to the mast to haul it up, and if we want to drop it, one person's at the mast and the other person is pulling down the sail. Once we get the sail down, we then go tie it down or bag it back up, and it becomes a bit of a pain. So that's a real disadvantage. But once the staysail is away, we have the advantage of the genoa. We can tack really easily. With a cutter rig, if you want to tack, what you have to do is you have to furl in the genoa to get it past the staysail. Once it's past the staysail, then get the sail back out again. So it takes a lot longer, and that's a disadvantage in my opinion, that's a disadvantage of having a cutter rig. Using the staysail will prolong the life of your jib. And the jib is a lot more expensive than the staysail, let me tell you. A big thank you to our British and experienced guest, Meryl, who helped us fly our staysail because our furler motor had broken. We had to get a new one from Germany. And as it happened, halfway through, or 3/4 of the way through the experience, Tropical Storm Karen hit us. So it was a good job we had the staysail up. If you want more information on sailing in heavy weather, watch our videos, Sailing in Storms and Sailing in Rough Seas. Give us a big thumbs up on our videos and subscribe to Sailing Britican. Make sure you subscribe, because every Tuesday we put out a video that helps newbie or soon to be blue water cruisers.